and my teacher, Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari Rahimahullah. We are just little candles glowing from the light which came from these great scholars of Islam. It is when you use these two oceans to combine together that you can crack it. A slave woman giving birth to her mistress. I'm going to be brief because it's already 10 o'clock. In order to understand this, you need two things which come from Dajjal, through which Dajjal attacks to try to take control of mankind. One, the Prophet said that the age of Dajjal will be the age of Kathratul Riba. That riba will take control of the world in the age of Dajjal. What happens when riba takes control of an economy is that number one, the rich will remain permanently rich and the poor will remain permanently poor. Wealth will no longer circulate. Number two, the rich will grow richer and the poor will grow poorer, and the number of poor will constantly increase until they reach to the depths of that destitution. In other words, a new slavery descends upon mankind, and that has already come while the ulama of Islam have been eating halwa. It has already come upon us. Nobody teaches the subject of the prohibition of riba. Nobody. I had the good fortune to live in New York, the capital city of riba. And there I was able to put book knowledge to bear upon the real economy in the world today. In addition, I was blessed to study Western economics, in international monetary economics, for example, in Europe. And this was how Allah blessed me with some understanding of the subject. That's why you will find my book outside, The Prohibition of Riba in the Quran and Sunnah. It took me 4 years to write that book. When an economy is based on riba, then wealth will no longer circulate. It's like mankind traveling on a ship. 15% of the population of mankind traveling first class, with permanent first class tickets. Best drinking water, best food, servants to serve them, luxury. The other 85% down in the whole of the ship, living in squalor, living in misery, living in suffering, living in destitution, falling ill like flies and dying like flies. So they are slaves down there. That's Indonesia today. That woman therefore is a slave woman down in the whole of the ship. She's the one we're talking about. In the age of Dajjal, not only do we have riba, but something else. The last people to come out of Dajjal will be women, said the Prophet ﷺ. And Dajjal will weave such a web of brainwashing of women that a man would have to return to his home and tie down his wife and sister and daughter to protect and preserve them from Dajjal. They're brainwashed. Nothing you can say to them will change their minds. Brainwashed. This is the modern feminist movement. What does the modern feminist movement want to do? If nowhere else in the world you should be able to answer that very easily, Singapore, this country. The modern feminist movement challenges the notion that men and women are functionally different. That men have different basic functions from women. The modern feminist movement wants to remove the barriers. Anything a man does, a woman should have the freedom to do it. And so women embrace the functional role of men in the feminist revolution. But she is too poor to do it. The one down in the hall. The ones who do it are the elite. They're rich. These are the first to embrace the functional role of men. The women traveling first class. What happens when women go out to work the way men do? 7 o'clock in the morning, she's dressed to go to work, the way he is. And she comes back home in the evening, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, the same way that he does. And when she dresses to go to work, this is not going to a party, it's going to work. So she has to dress in working clothes. And working clothes must look masculine. So now the cut of the clothes, jacket, and trousers. And you wouldn't believe it, I also saw the tie. So her dress becomes masculine. And when she goes to work, and she gets in a position of some authority, she has people working under her. You can't be shy. You got to talk like a man now. You got to behave like a man now, so that you can command respect. But in the Quran, Allah describes women differently. Musa alayhi salam, remember how he drew the water for the girls? And then one of them came back, father sent her back, go call him. And she has to come and approach this man, a woman approaching a man. And Allah describes in the Quran how shy she was, how bashful she is, that she has to approach a man. But Uncle Sam's daughter ain't shy. Huh? That's for kampung. We are modern women. So they behave like men, they dress like men, they talk like men, and even the faces begin to look like the men, faces of men. I don't want to mention the name of anybody in Mr. Clinton's cabinet. Huh? The softness is gone. The shyness is gone. The bashfulness is gone. And so as women assume the functional role of men, they begin to lose their femininity. But Allah describes the male and the female in using the analogy of the night and the day. Listen to him. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. He takes an oath by the night and that which it shrouds and covers so mysteriously, so beautifully. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى. And he takes an oath by the day and its bright, powerful light. وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى. That in the same way that Allah created the night and the day, so too did He create the male and the female. Allah wants the day to be day, and He wants the night to be night. When the day is day and the night is night, do you notice the attraction? How much they are attracted to each other? And when the day is coming to an end, and the day is approaching the night, do you notice the anxiety, the enthusiasm, how the day paints the sky in so many colors? Are you blind? Don't you see it? And then when the day reaches the night, the day plunges into the arms of the night. A rush of a plunge into the arms of the night. It happens every sunset. And then the day spends the night with the night. And there's a time for rest, and there's a time for sleep, and there's a time for love, and there's a time for worship, and there's a time for meditation, and then the time comes to say goodbye. And the day must say goodbye to the night. But the night doesn't want the day to go. And so the night holds on to the day. And only one ray of light comes out. And then a second ray and a third ray of light. Slowly, slowly, slowly the light comes out in the morning. How different from sunset. So when the day is day,